Hello everyone, my name's Terry Barnes and I will be your instructor for this 8-week Math 1314 course. So I wanted to take a quick orientation video opportunity to show you how my course is set up, what the expectations are, and how I think you should approach it. So first thing, this is where your announcements will be. Please check those whenever you come in. I'll do one each week for sure, but there might be some in between that would be important. Your content is here. It's also up here in the nav bar, but this is where I put the main things that I want you to have. So this is where I think you should look. The nav bar does have where you're going to access your homework and tests and your gradebook and your e-text if you want it. You probably already saw one of those if you did this, which is what you should see first thing. So let's go through a few things pretty quickly. Let's look at the instructor plan. And all right, let's go down. This has my information, but that's in another place as well. But there's my office phone number, my office location, my office hours. I will be in the office Tuesday and Thursday from 7 to 8. Then I have some classes. I'm also in the office from 12 to 3. And if we needed to Zoom, we could certainly do that. You do not have to buy a hard copy text. The e-text was included with your tuition, so you don't have to worry about that. You will need an 8384 graphing calculator. If you don't have one, there are some apps that you could use. I'll show you those when we get to that part of the content. All of this is important to read, but we're not going over it right now. This course attendance participation, you have to, you can't be absent more than 25% of the course. And for an online course, I do that with participation, meaning you need to work on something every week. And with an 8-week course, that makes sense. You need to be working every week. But when I run the report on Sunday, if you haven't worked the previous week at all, you get an absence. And you're only allowed 2 of those because it's 8 weeks. You can't miss more than a fourth of it. So just work in there every week and you'll be fine on the attendance issue. This is a calendar. We'll go over that on a special tab. Grading. My course is divided into homework, test, and final exam. The homework counts 30% of your final average, and you can do it over and over again till the final due date. So there's no reason not to get that homework correct. The test count 50% of your final average. You get 2 tries at each test, and the higher of the grade will count in your average. So if you do great the first time, you certainly do not have to take it the second time. Note in this red, before each test is available, all homework assignments must be completed with a 70. That means you got to pass your homework before the test is going to open. It just won't even open for you. Final exam is cumulative. It covers everything, and it counts 20% of your final average. We talked about that. And attendance, I talked about that. It's based on participation Sunday to Saturday. So just keep that in mind, and you'll get an email if you didn't do anything, knowing, and that'll tell you, okay, I've got an absence, and you don't want 3 of those. So that's our instructor plan. Let's look at the next item. Okay, so the contact info is right here. You could click on that anytime that you forget, my phone number or my email. Schedule and office hours. It has my whole schedule, where I'm teaching, when I'm teaching, and what my office hours are. The calendar, I said we'd look at this a little bit closer. The name of this is off a little bit. Okay, so because it's an 8-week, everything's going to be open here, and you work on this. And then the final exam is not going to show up till October 5th. Everything else is open for you, but you do have to work the final between October 5th and October 14th when the course ends. The rest of this you can work starting now and work till the October 14th, which is kind of like midterm for a regular class. So that's your calendar. I would print that and keep that for yourself. Okay. All right, we're going to come back to this one, but handouts, there's some important things in there. Whoops, I didn't mean to go there. If you have a TI Inspire, that item is good. I created a document that shows how to do certain things in that, but it's going to take a little while. But if you have a TI Inspire, you're going to get this document, and you can click on any of these items, and it's going to pop to the screen. So only if you're using a TI Inspire do you need to work with that. Okay, so back here, this is the big one, yellow packet. Now, if you were taking this face-to-face, I would hand this to you the first day, and it would be on yellow paper. So I call it the yellow packet. It has all the formulas and hints and things that you might need. We will do some of these in the calculator, and that's a good reference to have. Different things, regression, how to do regression. So any of this, if you want to print the whole thing, it is 15 pages, or you can just come here and look at things. And you can, if you print it, you can have that out for homework and tests because it's just formulas. And that would be, I would expect that because I do that with my face-to-face classes. So that was what was in handouts. Calculator help. So up here it says calculator phone app. So if you don't have a calculator, you don't want to buy one, Android, iPhone, both have really good graphing calculator emulators. So you might check that out. I don't think you pay for the Android one. I don't know about iPhone because I use an Android, but I know there's some available. So that might help you there. All right, and then if you don't know anything about calculators, which is rare because usually you're using them in high school, but maybe you don't, maybe you're returning to school. This is just some worksheets and some videos to help you. It's not anything you have to turn in, but it could be a help. You do have a calculator exam, and here's a review for that, paper review. And here's a video with me working that, showing you how to do that. The calculator test, you can take over and over again. You have infinite tries. So you want to get 100 on that. And it would be helpful to do this review before you take it the first time. And then there's some more TI Inspire things. But all right, let's go see what's next. Okay, so there is a final exam review, and we'll talk about that as we get closer to that. But here's the big thing, problem sets, lecture notes, videos. So if you go here, for each chapter, each section, there is a set of problems to practice to get ready for your homework. So here's the first one. If we click that, you get a worksheet. You could print it, you could practice it, try it, but you may not know what you're doing here, and you note there are 12 questions. All right, so let's go back and see about the lecture notes that go with it. Okay, so you've got that 1.3. We go to lecture notes, chapter 1 and 2. Let's go to the lecture notes for that. If you were in a face-to-face class, these are things that would be going up on the screen, and we would talk about them, and we would get all these examples there and some information, and then we would get down to those problems, and you would have this problem set on your desk with you instead of a book. And so we would go through these and work these together in class. Now, these are already worked. They have the answers, and you could look at this and figure out, oh, I see what she did, but maybe not. And so there's one more piece to the references. So we've gotten that, we've done that, and now we go to lecture videos. And this is a YouTube channel for My College Algebra, and here's a playlist with all of the videos for the first test. So here's section 1.3. and I'll be going through and talking through all those problems that we did. So however you want to use it, if you think you can do it by just watching the video, then by all means try that. But everything is there for you if you need it. Okay, so let's say you've done everything for 1.3 and now you're ready to do your homework. And so you come up here to Student MML Homework, and all of your homework is available. It should show up. Whoops, let me see what's going on. I just had to refresh. Okay, so everything's there, and here's 1.3. Note everything shows that it's due October 14th. Your final exam isn't showing because it isn't available till October 5th. So these things are all available and they're due October 14th by 6 p.m. Your tests are here. Here's your calculator test. You have 90 minutes on it and you have infinite tries. This is your first chapter test. Remember, this flag's going to tell you got to pass all of these homeworks for it to open. You have 2 hours and you have 2 tries. So there's something like that for each chapter test. Okay? So, got that. Now let's look at 1.3. So there were 12 questions in the practice. Let's go to, say, question 3. I don't know what that is, but let's look. Okay, so this is saying write the inequality in interval notation. This is showing on a graph. And so there's nothing down here right now, but if we click in the box where our answer goes, you come up with icons that will be of help to you. These are really important ones, but if you hit more, you get a bunch. So chapter 6 has matrices, so here's some matrices information. But if you need a square root, if you need absolute value, all of those things are there. All right, so I'm going to get rid of that for now. And I'm just going to put some gibberish in here, and I'm going to check the answer to show you what happens. And so it's going to say, you need a square bracket if it's an endpoint. You need a parenthesis if it's not, which you can see up here. We got a square bracket, and we got parentheses there. So it's going to kind of help you get to the right answer, but we aren't going to change it. We're going to say check again. We get the same thing. Now, it says final check. So if I do final check, it's going to tell me what my correct answer is and what I put in. You can do a skill builder at that point or not. Now, if I close that, down here, you could do the skill builder, which just helps you practice a little bit. Or you can say, okay, I know what I need to do. Give me a similar question. And it just changes the question. And you can fix the fact that you missed it. So that's good. You get 3 tries at each question. I do want to suggest to you that if you're trying a question and you just can't get it, you really need some help, click on this Get More Help and hit Ask My Instructor. It's going to send me an email just like this with your specific question you're fighting. And you can type in here what you've tried or what your issue is, but be sure and ask me something about it. Then hit send. It will come to me directly, and I can get back with you as soon as possible. That's the best way for me to help you on homework. Okay? All right. So I'm going to close out of that. I'm going to hit save, and we see that I missed that question. All right, let's go back to the last little bit. Okay, so if you want to ever check your grade, hit your grade book. And we can see that I worked on 1.3. I didn't get anything right. I spent 2 minutes and the date that I worked. I'll see all of this when I look in the grade book. I'll see how much time you spent and where you are. You can also see the progress bars, and this quiz is the final exam. These are your chapter tests, and this is your homework. So you have 30 homeworks, 1 quiz, which is the final, and 6 chapter tests. And those bars, excuse me, will build as you go through the course. But you can always see what your average is, no matter what. Okay? So that's a quick overview. I'm ready to be here for you, so just be sure you contact me if you need help. And I wish you luck, and I look forward to working with you.